Welcome back to another video. This one is about my mid-year techo kaigi for 2025, and I'll be taking you through some of these, well, all of these journals. Just gave it in the beginning that not all of these are everyday journals. I know it looks like I have a lot, but I tend to compartmentalize my journals a lot. So there's a lot of what I call occasional journals where I'm only filling it in when I need some creative time, creative escape kind of thing. What I will first take you through is my planner, my new 5-year journal. That's actually very new, and some of my other daily planners / journals that I'm there most of the time, and then I'll take you through all my occasional journals. So I'll just take my occasional journals aside for now. We will get back to it later, I promise. Actually missed my plotter as well. I have it on the side, but when I was doing the stacking thing it wasn't there. But anyway, these are mostly the journals that I'm in most of the time. I will take you through some of them. This one is the one that I'm probably in most of the time because it is my main planner. I figured out last year that I cannot work if things are not in one planner, because I tend to use this planner but not that one. So I'm very bad with like keeping track of more than one planner. So this is my everything planner. This is the Take Note in A5. I do use the monthly sometimes, mostly for scheduling things. I don't usually do things in the weekdays, so they're mostly empty, but it's usually for my Sundays when I need to schedule things. And then with the weeklies, I usually have, what's a good week to show you actually, the one that's a little bit more filled in, maybe one of these ones. I have customized it a lot on how I use it. I guess it's not meant to be used like this because these are meant to be for each day, and then you have the hours on the side, if you can see. But you know what, it's your planner, and I'm always in the camp of make things work for you rather than you having to work for it. So I customize a lot of stuff with my planner. This is something new that I do because every week I tend to change up the color of the ink, so I write down what the pen and what the ink is. These two kind of changes a little bit. Like mostly the first one is my like health tracker kind of thing, so if I have anything health wise I'll write it down. And then sometimes these I use either for my meals, or with this one it was because this week I was really into market prepping, so that was my market prep stuff. And then sometimes I use it for gratitude as well. It's a little bit messy because like I still haven't found out the ways that I want to use it, because like when this week I started using it, where's this week? This week I started using it for breakfast, lunch, dinner again, because I want to track my gut health, because sometimes I feel kind of bloated and I just want to make sure I know what I'm eating at that time to make sure I know what's kind of like causing the bloatedness kind of thing. So that one changes a lot, but I also feel like, you know, make things work for you. If you're more interested in tracking something over some other thing, currently like right now I'm tracking a lot more of my like what I'm eating and things like that, then use it for that. Just because you decide to use that section for a particular thing for the start of the year doesn't mean when you come to the middle of the year you still have to use it for that. I always say it's a living and breathing thing, and just make it work for you, I guess. The way I'm doing it with this planner, because it already has this nice divider, it's meant to like highlight when you're actually having your lunch, very important. But I like to use this divider as a top section and a bottom section. So with the top section I usually have a few different things. A lot of them are my to-dos. I like to also compartmentalize my to-dos, even though the planner is meant to just be one planner, but doesn't mean that you can't compartmentalize your to-dos, you know. So I usually have 2 or 3 focus of the week that I want to get done, because if you don't know this about me, I do full-time work, so most of the stuff on the side that I do, I can't do more than 2 or 3 things a week. Like, so that's why the focus tends to be a little bit less, and I am very comfortable in being a weekly planner. There's some people that likes to plan day by day, but for me it's a little bit too granular because most of my days are being spent working, so I like to plan week by week. So anyway, those are my focus for the week. Then I also have what I'm waiting on and what's my wish list. And then there's like things for the shop I need to do for the shop and for social medias, including YouTube usually. And then sometimes I track shop orders and my outside purchases. And then I try to add like a few bits and pieces of wins and struggles each week, even though that doesn't always get filled up. And then some of my habit tracker, sometimes I usually fall off tracking them in the middle of the week. And then some personal to-dos like, dishwashing, laundry, those kind of stuff. In the bottom section, what I usually use this for, let me find one that maybe have a slightly more to-dos. So the bottom section, the left, I usually use for kind of like what I get up to. Like it's like memory keeping in a little space, just like dot points and things like that. That might change next year, but we'll see. And then on the right, usually Saturday and Sunday are actually my big side hustle days kind of thing. So a lot of things are happening on the weekend if I'm not going out and stuff. So usually sometimes I use it for to-do list, like what I want to get up to this weekend if I have like a whole day to do my errands and stuff like that. So I like to put that as well. Sometimes it's more filled than some other days, like some days it's a bit more emptier, but I've been really constant in this planner and I really like it. It keeps me organized, but like I'm not amazing at being organized, but at least like my to-dos are here and it's all in one section, you know what I mean? So there you go, that's my planner. I really love this. I don't know what I'm going to do for next year just yet, but this might go away from this, but we'll see what happens. What do I do next? Okay, now that, because there's this that I write down a little bit. Usually last year it goes into this journal, which is my weekly memory keeper journal. But to be honest, this year I've been so busy work-wise and I don't have work and social life-wise, so I don't actually have a lot of time to be doing this. So it's empty from January, which makes me really sad. But what I did last year was I kind of decorated a little bit and then do a little blurb, which is a transfer it into this. But this year I started a 5-year journal, so that's why this has been quite neglected, but I'm still 100% looking to come back to it because I just feel like it's such a waste of buying a planner and then not using it. So I'm still going to try and catch up and do this because I actually really like doing this. That is still something that I'm gonna try and do because I really do love this journal, and it just feels really bad that it's not being used for its full potential. But this is also something new. If you have been in the channel, you might have already seen some of this. So basically I'm DIYing my own 5-year journal. This is a Stalogy, which has 366, I think, pages. So it's meant to be for your whole year. So I figured this is an idea I took from Sarai or Kate here in YouTube, and she's also in Instagram, but she made her own 5-year journal. So I am inspired to do the same because when I saw that she did that, it made me think about doing one, because like the reason I haven't started any 5-year journal is because I know deep in my heart that I'm gonna get bored if I, with the layout that they have in 5-year journal, it's just like the same thing every single day, and I feel like I'm gonna fall off it. Because if I'm just writing things for like year by year in the same layout, I think I will be very bored of it and I will fall off it really quickly. So what I've done with this is I do some collaging and then I'll write up a little bit, but it's different areas each time, so I feel like that gives it enough newness and enough variety for me to not get bored of it. And I get to also do little collages, and I think just looking at different collages every day like that, I feel like it'll make me want to write more than if it's just like just writing. I mean, to each their own. Some people really like simple just writing, kind of like 5-year journal, but I know I get bored a lot if it's like the same layout on and on, and there's nothing that, like, you know, makes it fresh. So I actually DIY my own and do a little collage every day. And then what my vision is, every year I will add a little like extra thing. In the beginning it felt like it worked, and I was like, oh, okay, I just do an extra one, like I just do 2 or 3 elements, because if it's just one it will look boring, right? But then some of this already look finished, so I don't know if I want to add extra things. So maybe I'll start another cluster down there or something. But so far this has been keeping me creative, which is why I barely touch my weekly memory keeper. This one I probably started maybe March or April, and I've been catching up slowly. So writing wise, I'm up to, is it mid-February? Or I think actually I'm already in March for writing wise. There's a video that I have going through this when I first started it, and then you'll hear about why I started it and, like, you know, my design decisions, how I'm going to use it. So I'll link you up to that if you're interested in this planner, because I don't think I'm meant to go into this much depth, but I think I got up to March somewhere. I used to use this like month over and over, but then after a while I figured it was much nicer and much simpler without the month. So I stopped using that. I might use it on another cluster somewhere if I decide to add it on next year. But you know what? I might change my mind next year. So for now, they're just gonna have a little bit of collage on the sides, and then I'm gonna write on it. Like, as you can tell, I have not finished catching up. I think I'm up to like early, I'd say May. Yeah, I think, yeah, I got up to early May, so I'm still trying to catch up with that and everything. I have been journaling a lot because I was catching up on this journal, but also that's why my other ones are neglected. But I actually love this for like another weight journal, because it felt a little different from the other things that I'm doing currently. So this is the start of my 5-year journal, and it's gonna be here for 5 years. Hopefully I will stick with it, because 5 years is a lot of commitment. So we'll see what's happening with that one. And then next, I've already explained this a little bit. This was meant to be my weekly memory keeper, that if you are in the channel, you've probably seen a lot, because I do journal on my memory keeper a lot and I record it. So I release one every month, but sometimes it's my 2020, what was that, maybe 2022 or 2023, because I have a lot of footage. So I was like, why not just post them, because I still like a lot of the stuff that I'm doing for this. But yeah, I actually really miss doing this. It was really fun. So I'm still 100% trying to get to do this, catch up with this as well. It's a lot of work, but I think this might be the last year that I do this, for now anyway. Next year I think I won't have the weekly memory keeper, and I'll just have my 5-year and my planner. But we'll see. Maybe I'll change my mind again when there's like another pretty planner comes. It always happens like that. But anyway, that's that. I'm not gonna flip through a lot, because even though this planner is obviously very gorgeous, I have not been in it at all. But I'm gonna be in it soon, I'm really hoping. So that's another one. I will go through my plotter next. So for this one, it's a lot of them is all my goal stuff. So if you've watched some of my goal videos, for like every time there's a quarter and stuff like that, there's a vision board that I did, an exercise that I did with some of my friends. That was very nice. But this one is mostly about my goals. So I have this insert that I make my own. It should be posted in my Gumroad, I think. But this is basically when you're reviewing your life, and I usually do my, like, you know, yearly planning and quarter planning in here. So if you watch any of my quarter planning videos, you probably already have seen this. So basically I plan for every quarter and some reviews. So most of this is like quarterly task list and then quarter review. and then it'll have the focus, and then I break down the task, and then I review it in the end of the month. There's probably one coming for Q2 to Q3, but I haven't filmed it yet, so that would be part of that. And then I have to be careful with this because I don't really want to show you my finance stuff. So I have some of my finance stuff in here. I won't show it to you, but it's a lot of it is just tracker stuff. And this also is a monthly planner that I repurposed from Plan by Gila's monthly calendar, and I just use this to track like when money is coming in and when it's going, because I have to make sure there's enough money to pay my credit cards and things like that. So usually I plan on this. I won't show it to you because that's a bit private, but usually I use these dots to make sure I know when I'm getting paid and when I need to pay stuff, and then I will write the amount when the month comes. I haven't done one for June, but anyway, that's what it's for. This one was meant to be like for a media journal kind of thing. I did it for a bit, but I took it out of the plotter because it was getting a bit too thick. Like during I think February and March and stuff like that, I was really busy that I didn't actually watch a lot of stuff, so I started it again during March, but this was only for the first quarter. I haven't caught up for the second quarter, but I don't know if I'm going to do this next year. I like tracking what I watch and what I like, but yeah, I don't know. I think I might, because this hasn't been working that well, so I might bake it in with my planner next year, but we'll see. But I really like having this just for all my goals, even though I think the puncher that I use is not very friendly for plotters, so I've been wanting to get a plotter friendly puncher, so we'll see about that. So that's my goal planner. This one usually holds all my goals, and I make my own. The thing that I really like about this is because it's a ring binder, you can make your own inserts, and I really like customizing stuff, right? So that's why that works. And I don't know, for next year, do I dare go full on plotter? Because that means I get to customize everything. But I don't know yet. We'll have to see what kind of planner I get tempted on next year, I guess. This one is my work planner. I do carry it to work, and it's usually, I'll just flip you through it really quickly. This part usually have all my focuses of the week. Like I told you, I'm a week planner, so this extends to work as well. So lots of these are mostly what things I have to get done for work. I carry this to work with the Kaweco, and it's been really useful. But most of my work stuff are actually digital in Notion, but this one is just nice when I need to carry it to a meeting to always know what I'm working this week and things like that. So that has been very useful as well. And this one is my Commonplace book. It's tiny, but I do take notes on it a little bit. And yeah, I haven't used it too much this year because it's just, these years have been really funny because a little bit of a personal thing, I guess. Work has been taking a lot of space in my brain because this is the second time they moved me to a new team within like a year. So, and this one is quite a big move. Unfortunately, I'm not getting any more money or anything, but it's a move to another different team, and that means I need to get used to how they work again, get used to working with new people again. Quite a big move in that it's not in the area that I'm usually working, so their ways of working are different as well. So it's a lot of learning thing. I'm also doing some extended work training, so there's a lot of things going on outside of journaling. I'm also doing more markets this year, so that also takes away from all my journaling time, which is fine because I'm multi-passionate and I like having different hobbies going and stuff like that. And yeah, that's why my journaling are a little bit neglected for the last year or so. But you know what, I have learned to give myself grace, and you know what, journaling should be something that's enjoyable to me. And if it's something that I'm currently not enjoying, I would rather put it aside for a week, a month, or a few months rather than forcing myself to do it. I want to do it because I enjoy it and not because I feel like I have some obligation towards the dated of the planner. Therefore, why my weekly memory keeper are still bare, but I'm hoping for the second half of the year that I'll have some time to actually catch up on those as well, but we'll see. This is basically not really a journal, but this is where I keep my ink swatches. I thought I'll just include it because it sits with my journal. It's not really a journal, but it's a collection nonetheless, so I thought I'll show you that before we get started. But yeah, that's mostly all my dated / everyday kind of planners. These are occasional journals, so I don't actually touch them as often as I do my planners, but they're there when I want to write on it, or if it makes sense to write on it, if that makes sense. So this one is my EDC. This is the one that I usually carry around if I need to carry on travel's notebook to take notes and things like that. And this one, it's just notes, so it's just like notes for if I go out for not lessons, what do you call it, like conferences and things like that. I also have my sticker release paper here, just to when I want to, like, you know, decorate a little bit. And then I also have, this is my notes if I go to church and stuff like that. So the thing that I really like about this EDC is the fact that this one has the accordion craft folder. So this is really easy to swap out. If I'm going somewhere that's not the church, I can just take this out and leave it at home. Likewise, if I'm going to church and I don't need this one, I can just slide it out and, like, you know, just go with that. So it's really easy to customize. I am still in the process of turning most of these ones, if it's more than maybe 2 or 3, into one of these, because I really like that it's very modular. If you want info about this, I will also link another video where I take you through a few different ways to add inserts to your travels notebook, because I actually really like this system because it makes it so easy for you to, you know, pick and choose what you want. But also it looks nice that it's not budging out, because sometimes when you have 3 of them, it budges out a bit. Do you have one that is 3? Because most of these are just 1 or 2, because I consolidated a lot of my journals and take out the ones that I don't need. So this one has 3, so I might do what I do on this one and use a craft folder for that. But seriously, that hack has been life-changing for me and really like it very much. So this is my EDC, and it's a little bit rougher around the edges because obviously this is the one that I carry around, but I like it now that I've discovered the craft folder hack, so I really like that one. And then this one is my travels hotel, and this one has my K-drama journal, which has not been written on for ages, but I really like these spreads. So I'm keeping it here for one day when I get inspired enough to actually print photos and write about some of the K-dramas that I like. So there's still a lot of pages, and this is a very beautiful insert, so I really want to continue it, but obviously currently I don't have that much time, so I'm okay for that to sit there for a while until I figure out, or until I carve out some time to actually journal on my K-drama journal again. This one is my happy mail journal, but I am happy to report that I have not written anything since. So my last entry on this journal is 16th of August 2024. So I haven't gotten a lot of stuff this year, so I have not been journaling on this, but that is a good thing because that means I'm not buying too much stuff. Even though sometimes I feel like if the package that I get doesn't get a lot of nice freebies or packaging, sometimes I'm a little bit lazy to write on this. But yeah, that's my travels notebook hotel. This one is a little bit sad because this used to have my favorite journal insert, which is my collage art my art slash collage journal insert, but currently it's still empty because, like I said, I've been busy and I haven't been journaling a lot. One day I will go back to this and fill it in with beautiful collages again, but today is not the day, and I'm trying to be okay with it. So I think a lot of these are, you're gonna find that I don't journal on this, but I'm keeping it there for the reminder that it's there. And if I one day wanna, like, you know, if I one day catch up on all my other stuff and I want to be in here, I can. But the thing is, I think next year I'm gonna try to limit my dated journals so that I can actually be on some of these journal, because I do miss it. I do really miss the Travel's Notebook standard size. Actually, this one has my very random junk journal. It's basically things that, like, that is from a jam, this one's from a packaging. Basically anything that for me looks good, I will paste it in here so I don't hoard them, because I tend to hoard them a lot. Like, you know, some of those, some stickers and other things. Like this one comes from like a box, but it's so cute. I couldn't let go of the box for the longest time, and then I finally did it because I ripped this out, and this is the only part of the box that I want to keep, you know, those kind of stuff. So that's my junk journal. And this has my daily Bible journal, which has not been filled as well. I haven't been keeping up with it because obviously work has been crazy, so I won't show you that one as well because it hasn't changed at all. This one is the Travels Diner, and this one has my collection journal, which is the Travelers Company official partner stop stamps. I miss journals very much. They're like the first that I know was the first partner store in Sydney, but they've closed down. But it's nice that I already have that. And then, like, I just wanna, like, you know, start collecting these. I got this from one of my friends, so I got that one, and this one I got from when I was in Madrid, and I got to visit one of the partner shop. There's two, but I didn't get to visit the other one because we were very in a hurry kind of thing. But this one's gonna be for all my Travels Company official partner store stamps, so one day it'll fill up, but right now I only have like 4 things in there, and it's okay. And this one is my collection journal. I make the inserts myself. It's in my shop if you are interested, but this is just like me documenting some of my favorite stamps, or all of my favorite stamps. The way that I do it is each page is by the creator, and I just stamp a lot of their stamps. So this one's Our Studio, this one's Jocelyn Padilla when she was still doing stamps. I really miss her stamps. And then some of my J&L stamps. Some of these comes in a set, so that's why they're in a different set, and then I put in a thing. I really like this. I should continue doing it because there's still a lot of empty spaces, but that's basically my collection kind of journal. This one. So, and this one has, I believe, my ink swatching stuff. So this is also something that I created myself for ink swatching the inserts. I really like it. It's this one's the one that has 5 in a page, but there's also 1 in a page, 2 in a page, and 4 in a page if you wanting bigger swatches and things like that. But it has been very useful to take this into meetups and stuff if people are bringing their inks, so I can just swatch and know what it looks like and stuff like that. And I think it looks pretty good. I like it. So that's why I bring that around. This one is actually my tea journal. So I don't think I've written on this a lot these days, but this journal actually stems from me getting a 20 pack of assorted tea, but I want to keep track of all the flavors because I want to know what I want to re-buy, you know. So I started this journal, and it's been like slowly filling up ever since. Now that it's a little bit colder, I like drinking tea, so no doubt it's gonna fill up eventually when I figure out like what I like and everything. So that's the tea journal, and this one is basically just the kind of like a display book for some of my samples. So sometimes when I'm on the fence about getting inks, I get a sample instead. So these are some of the ones that I have samples of, and then after I see the samples I can be like, okay, this one is very close to, because I can compare it to my current inks, and I'm like, oh, okay, maybe that one is very close to something else, so I don't need to buy that because it's very close to something that I've already have. So it's nice to have that, but also like having I like having the cards, and I like swatching inks. That's probably why they're also in there. But so that's mostly ink and my tea journal for that one. I've already shown you this one. I'll move this to the side, and then what's left is just my three travels notebook passport. This one has one of my art journal in a smaller size, because I like to have a few different sizes art journal depending on what I'm feeling like doing. So this one is the travels notebook passport one, and I actually miss doing these pages. There's still a lot of pages, but I haven't done this for a while. I kind of really miss it. I hope I'll be able to journal on there very soon. This one is the Love and Trip one. That's like a few months old, but this one houses my, how do I even name this? This is basically me keeping track of what ink is in which pen, just because I do have a fair bit, because I do like to try new pens and stuff like that. They're mostly the inexpensive ones, but yeah, so these has what it's ink with currently, so I probably should date it so I know when I last like fill it up. But that's my pen and ink list, I guess. I don't even know how to name this journal, but it's basically just a note to know what's being inked on where. And this one's my minimalist journal, or this one's not part of it because this one was gifted to me from one of my friends. But basically I started this journal because I want to be able to do less, like more minimalist stuff, because I really like the look, but I tend to be very maximalist. So I created this journal to give me a space to be a minimalist, even though it's still not very minimalist. But you know what, it's a progress, and I like this journal. Like some of the stuff in here is very, very simple, but looks quite nice. So this is me trying to be a little bit more minimalist in this journal as well. And this one has the brown one has my EDC. So this is my wallet. You can tell that there's like coins in there and money as well. Like there's money on that one, and I think there's coins on this one, I'm pretty sure. So I carry this sometimes when I need a wallet. I also started carrying another wallet because that was much smaller, but this one actually has this monthly that I have. This is a 2025 monthly that I use to, you know, when I need to plan stuff, and if I'm on the go, sometimes I write that and then it'll get transferred to my planner when I get home. And then this one is just a random scratch paper kind of insert. Sometimes I stamp on it. Like when I was in Melbourne, I stamped some of the travels notebook partner stamps, and then notes from friends, and some washi tapes as well. So, and yeah, I like having this because there's a card thing that you can put in, and then yeah, it has a lot of compartments and I like it. I will link a video where I take you through each of them, what I put in here, like in details. So if you're interested in my wallet EDC, I will link that video down below. Basically, that's all that I have for my techo kaigi this year. It's a lot, but like I told you, these are occasional journals. They don't get filled every day or every week or every month. They're basically when I feel like it, and when I drink a new tea, or what else, when I get a package and things like that. So it's very occasional journals, and I'm very okay having journals that I don't touch for a while, because when I touch it again and I write on it, I will be very excited because I haven't written on that for a while. But these are my main ones, my main planner and journals. And like I said, I have not been journaling as much as I would like to because work has been a lot, and I started doing markets, so that takes time out of my days, and I'm also doing course for work, so I haven't been on this a lot, and that makes me a little bit sad. But you know what? It's a hobby. It's not meant to, I'm not meant to force myself to do all this. But as long as I'm still enjoying it and I still want it in my life, I think that's the standard I'm putting with my journals. I don't have to be in them every single day. Hopefully you like that, a little bit of a peek into all my journals. And just a reminder that, you don't have to do it every day. If it's something that you like to do every few weeks, every few months, it's okay to do that as well. Don't pressure yourself. Like I said, make your planners and your journals work for you instead of the other way around. I hope you get some ideas if you're wanting to start a new journal, or maybe you just want to see what's happening with some of my journals. Some of them hasn't been written on, but it's okay. I'm giving myself grace, and I'm giving myself permission to not write a lot on my journals, because life is too short to actually pressure yourself to do things that you might not want to do right now. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed that. I will see you in another video. I hope you stay safe, take care, and thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.